Hey kids, you made it. How's everybody doing? Sorry for making you guys wait again. You know me. Can everybody hear me? Mama Bear, no, I didn't get a mic. I should probably get one, huh? Is it that bad? So I decided not to do the mobile StreamYard thing because I wasn't sure if I could screen share, and I wanted to screen share a couple of things with you guys today, even though I don't really have anything set up. The whole purpose was to try out the StreamYard for mobile, but here we are. So I have my window closed as much as possible, but I try to keep it open here as long as possible because I just try not to turn the air on if I don't have to. So you might hear the little rooster because he's been quite loud today. He just started crowing a few days ago. Yeah, probably a few days ago, a week or so ago maybe. So if you hear a rooster, I apologize. Which is actually quite cute because he's a bantam rooster, and so his crow is it's loud, but it's not nearly as loud as our other rooster that we had, Cooper. But it's funny because he thinks he's all tough and he's all tiny. And just let me know if I get too far back from the computer or something, you guys can't hear me, and I'll get closer if I see the chat. So I can't promise how well this live's gonna go. I just wanted to come on real quick and let you guys have a platform to talk as well, and whatever. So if it's all over the place, I apologize ahead of time. Okay, so there's not so much dead silence. I was just reading the chat, but I wanted to show you guys something because I actually made this video, I don't know, a month or so ago, or maybe a couple months ago, about the predictive programming, which leads into this. It's not Chris Watts, but it has to do with Chris Watts because of the American Horror Story predictive programming. But I made it a while back when all this whole virus thing started, and I put it up, and it got removed within, like, I don't know, less than 15 minutes. I didn't get a copyright strike or anything. I just got a claim, and it was just removed. Usually, like with the American Horror Story, they didn't copyright strike me, but they copyright claim me. And so what they can do is they have an option, whoever puts the copyright claim on you, they can either block it entirely. They can, what's the other one? They can block it entirely. They can block it in just some countries. And then, let's say, for instance, if it's monetized, which I'm not, they can get a portion of the money you make off of the video since you're using their content. Now, usually there's a kind of like a loophole you can get around. Like if you see a lot of these people that do, or channels that do the reaction videos to all the music videos, they'll usually play, it's either under 30 or 20 or 30 seconds, and then they'll stop it, and then they'll talk about the video, and then they'll start the video again. So that way it's kind of, like I said, a loophole to get past the whole copyright thing. It seems to work for them. I tried to do that with my video that I made and stop it under 20 seconds for each clip, but it didn't work. So I'm going to just show you a slideshow of it, and I'll just pretty much tell you what's going on, and then you guys can go and watch the video whenever. And because whenever you get 1,000 subscribers, you have to wait a week until your community tab comes up, so where you can post on there. And I'm assuming it's probably the same for Super Chat, but then again, I'm not monetized. I can't remember if I applied for it or not. So unless that's something different, I'm not sure, but that's why I'm assuming. And Jennifer Madison, the strikes are, as far as I know, they're from the creator or the company. So like for my American Horror Story videos, they gave me a copyright claim. The 21st Century Fox or FX Productions, I can't remember which one, but they gave me the copyright claim. And since I'm not monetized, what they did was they put, which is funny because I didn't put it on all of my American Horror Story ones, which is really strange, but for the ones that they did put the copyright claim on, they put an advert or promotional, like it says below the video, it'll say American Horror Story 1984, and then buy now for 99 cents trailer or something or whatever. So I guess that's the way of not giving me a copyright strike, because they get to make money off their promotion. They're promoting their show. So, okay, let me know if you guys can see that. My desktop on the screen. Okay, I see it. So this video was in obviously 2019. It came out, and I don't have. Oops, hold on. Hold on. Oh boy. Is there sound now? Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is from the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest, which I've never heard of. And I think it came out in either May or June of 2019. And okay, so let's play it here. Hopefully they don't give me a copyright claim for just showing her picture, but if the live ends, then I'll start a new one. Oh yeah, and this is featuring Quavo, who I've never, I don't think I've ever heard of, but they use a lot of synthesizer in this song. But anyways, you guys will see that if you go watch it. So Madonna comes out. We have these monks on each side of her, and she starts off singing. I think it's Like a Prayer. I'm not going to sing it, so don't even ask, because I'm not a singer. So she comes out and she says, "Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone." And then she said, "Sorry, Rooster." She says, "I hear you call my name, and it feels like home." Now you notice the crown on her head, and then and then Corona means crown in several languages. And hopefully you guys know what I'm referring to here. Pretty much, if you even say that whole virus word on your channel, and it doesn't go with what mainstream media says, you're likely to get your channel taken down. So, but you guys are smart. I think you guys will get what I'm saying here. So yeah, so she comes out with the crown, and then if we go back here, sorry. Actually, I'm just gonna go through it, and then I'll explain it a little bit more afterwards. It's only a minute long, so. Okay, so then she says, "Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone, and it feels like home." Then here you have the stage that's shaped like a Masonic compass. There's actually a better picture in the video, but this is the one I picked just because you could see the whole entire thing. Okay, now you have, and I can't take credit for this because I didn't find this, just so you guys know. I actually, I'm not gonna remember who it was. I'll find it and put it in the link. But I was actually watching a Crow 777 video, and the guest that he had on mentioned this Madonna video, and I will leave his name in the description. So you have the monks, and then you have 20 on the left, and you have 20 on the right for 2020. Now this is where Madonna goes into her, she has her, sorry, the rooster just keeps growing. I don't know if you guys can hear him. She goes from like a prayer, and then she goes into her, it's the Nutcracker something. But anyways, it's Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, pretty much for the background music. So here you can see the dancers wearing a gas mask, and Madonna looks at her and says, "They are so naive. They think we are not aware of their crimes." And she says, "We know, but we're just not ready to act." And then again, the gas masks. She says, "A storm isn't in the air. Oh, and if somebody can tell me who this is, I think I found out, but I can't remember. I don't know. So if someone knows who this person is, let me know in the chat, please. Okay, so she says, "A storm isn't in the air. It's inside of us." And then right before this scene, Madonna turns around and she blows, and you see fire in the screen behind her, and all these dancers with the gas masks on fall to the ground. So that's why they're all on the ground. Jan Thurgood, this was in May or June of 2019. So right before the whole virus thing happened, or a few months before. And we'll get into Chris Watts, but like I said, I wanted to show you guys just more of the predictive programming that these, whoever's doing it, elites or whatever, are putting into our videos and television shows and movies. Okay, so after she blows them all down with the fire or whatever, Madonna says, "Not everyone is coming to the future. Not everyone that's here is going to last." And in the video, she takes her arm and points to the whole crowd when she says, "Not everyone's coming to the future." And then she says it again, "Not everyone is coming to the future." And then here, this is right before this is where the Quavo guy comes in, and they start singing to each other. "Not everyone is learning from the past." Madonna points to the crowd, says, "Don't tell me to stop because you said so." Now all the dancers, not wearing gas masks, they start walking up the stairs, and if you look on their backs, they show there's different world flags. This might be more symbolic to something that's Israel. I think it's Israel and Iran, Pakistan, one of those two. But they start walking up the stairs, and then once they get to the top of the stairs, they turn around, and then they fall down below the stage. So now Madonna and Quavo say it's the future where you got to pay the cost. Then they flash to this Masonic pyramid. And then Madonna and Quavo both say wake up, or Madonna says wake up, and then they both fall down past underneath the stage. So if we go back. Okay, so it's pretty, self-explanatory, but like I said, she comes out and says, life is a mystery, everyone must stand alone. So you know how we had to be quarantined away from each other. With the whole 6 feet distance rule. And then she says, and everyone must stand alone and it feels like home. So they're standing alone, 6 feet distance rule, social distancing, and we all had to stay home because we were quarantined, right? Then she's wearing the obvious crown on her head. Then you have the Masonic stage. Then you have the 20 monks on the left, 20 monks on the right for 2020, the year it started. They are so naive, which they're speaking about us. Apparently, we're the ones that are committing the crimes. Of course, the dancers are wearing gas masks. Super weird and creepy. The storm isn't in the air, it's inside of us. The virus is inside of us. Not everyone is coming to the future, meaning people are going to die from it. And not everyone that's here is going to last. Pretty much they're not going to stop rubbing this in our faces and this predictive programming just because we told them to stop, is what I'm assuming that means. And then you have the world flags on the back of the dancers because the virus was, worldwide spread worldwide, whichever way you want to put it. And then of course when the dancers get to the top, they fall off the earth. And then it's a future where you got to pay the cost. So if you want to live, I guess you have to pay the cost. Masonic pyramid. And then Madonna says, wake up. So, yeah, so I wanted to show you guys that because I'm bummed because I worked really hard on a video and they took it down immediately. So, sorry, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. But there's a reason for my madness. If you think it's boring, sorry. Grasshopper, yeah, I'd want that Illuminati card game as well. That'd be cool. So yeah, so I mean, if you guys want to go check out the video, I don't want to promote Madonna by all means, but but if this doesn't piss you off, then I don't know what will, because this is infuriating to me that they think they're so much better and they're just going to throw it in our faces like that, and you know, say, oh, what are you going to do about it? It's even more infuriating too when you actually watch the entire video. But I just wanted to just, you know, show you guys another example of the predictive programming that they use, that they're doing as well, or did, with the Watts narrative. So any comments, questions on as far as that goes? And let me know if you guys can still hear me okay, please. Oh, and I think it was Mia. Mia, yeah. I just got done telling my boyfriend that just the other day, that what happened to um, the whole thing about how the virus doesn't survive in high temperatures, and we're supposedly have skyrocketed. I just, that doesn't make sense to me. But then again, they keep changing everything every day. It's always something different. And I know I brought it up with the whole video thing, but don't even get me started on all that. And that's just one example of the predictive programming and the symbolism that they use and throw it in our faces. Hi, Vincina. Hi, everybody else that came in. Really, you decided to stick around? So in Tanya's chat, live chat yesterday, the discussion about the whole dead weight thing got brought up, and if whether or not if Chris would be able to lift Shanann into the truck by himself. I'm not sure if all of you have seen my video on that I did about how whether or not Chris could get Shannon in the truck or not. It was like one of my first videos. So if you've seen it, I apologize, because I'm going to show a video from it right now. Because I kind of want to like put that whole thing to rest a little bit with the whole dead weight thing. And again, I've never lifted a dead body or anything that has dead weight, so I don't know for a fact, I guess you could say, but just through research, that's what I've come to the conclusion on. Hopefully it plays because my computer's slow. So this video is a video that I put in my Is It Possible video. And as soon as this guy moves, you're going to see Will Willis, and he's a ex-Marine, or he is a Marine, something like that. And he also is in that show Forge and Fire, the ones where the competition where they build the different swords and what have you. So he's going to, in this video, discuss the difficulty of lifting an unconscious person. I'm going to try and play it in full screen, but if it lags, then I'll take it off. Or there's going to be no sound. All right, sorry guys, hold on. All right, like, let me try this. Sorry, guys.
I'm going to show you a quick way to get a guy in a fireman today. How many here have ever executed a fireman successfully on an unconscious casualty by yourself? By yourself. By yourself. Come on out. Ready? What do you weigh, Will?
180.
180. You're doing a good job. You're doing good. Get the point? Yeah. What's the point? Real dead weights. All right. Ain't nobody here going to the gym and grabbing the having 180 pounds of putting with sticks in it and snatching it off the ground and putting it on their back. Because that's what you have when you have an unconscious casualty. 180 pounds, or whatever he weighs, of putting with sticks in it, wrapped in hard ass plastic gear. Okay? So getting a casualty up isn't that easy, especially when they're unconscious, uncooperative, not working with you. I'm going to show you a couple of techniques that if you don't practice them, they're not going to magically come to you. Come on out here. How much do you weigh? So we got a casualty that weighs 165. Just take a step to your side so I never have to tease this again. Thank you. I'm old, dude. All right, so this guy weighs 165 pounds. I'm going to do this at speed, and then we'll back it off, okay? This is a technique I learned when I was in the Ranger Battalion. I didn't magically come up with this, okay? And if you don't practice it, it's not a viable thing for you.
Again.
I guess I overestimated. Relax your body. See, I can feel that guy getting stiff, okay? A real casualty isn't going to roll with me. He's just going to be dead weight, right? He rolled with me, all right? He weighs 165 pounds. We can get him up like nothing, okay? It's just a combat roll across his body. Anybody here weigh 220? Roll down. This guy outweighs me by 40 pounds. If you practice technique, it doesn't. I get them organized. I got them nice and stable. I've got my hips underneath my freaking shoulders. All I got to do now is post up here, stand up with it.
Anybody's done a turkey
Walk.
get up? It's real important to have everything in alignment. All your, if you're off a little bit, it's an injury waiting to happen.
Now I could probably move out 100 yards with this guy, keep up with the team. But what's going to happen after 100 yards?
Muscle fatigue.
I'm going to get smoked. What's the advantage of this? Well, it's quick. What else? You're maximizing guns in the fight, right?
Yeah.
Maximizing security. But now I'm smoked. Guess what? Come on out here. Go back to back with me. Let me know when you have the.
Okay, so you guys all heard that, right? He said that when someone's unconscious, they're not going to naturally flex their muscles, which centers their weight, compared to someone who is just, semi-unconscious or maybe sleeping or, drunk or something. So trying to pick up dead weight is like you said, it's trying to pick up like a sack of pudding. It's just all the weight is just going to flop all over the place compared to, if it was contained and it was at the weight was balanced and centered. It's much easier to lift than compared to something that would be all over the place. So for like instance, what would be easier to lift? A sack of potatoes that are going to, roll all over the place when you try to pick it up, or, a box of potatoes where all the weight is distributed evenly in the box. So when you have dead weight, it's like the sack of potatoes. Or if you had, I don't know, like a bag of heavy tools with hammers and everything in it. Try to pick that up compared to, a toolbox that has the same amount of weight in it, but it's all contained and it's all distributed evenly and it's not going to flop all over the place. So that's the difference between dead weight and regular weight, even though it weighs the same. And Will even says, after 100 yards or so, he's going to get, he's going to get tanked. He's going to get really tired. So for Chris to take Shanann from, where we don't know if it was upstairs or whatever, but from inside the house, let's say, through the garage, and not only is it hard to, carry the person, but to lift that, to take the amount of strength that it is to get that person off of the ground and up into a higher place like the truck is even more difficult. So for him to take Shanann through the house, through the garage, into the truck, and then go to Servy, and then take Shanann out of the truck, and then however many yards away the gravesite was, I don't know what was, like 100, one of you guys would know this, 100 yards or something, or feet from where he parked the truck. I mean, that would be really, really hard, really difficult, if not impossible to do by yourself. And to show up afterwards and not look winded or tired or like he just moved 3 bodies. Same goes for the Nate's video footage, because we don't see Chris struggling at all or winded or tired or exhausted from just moving Shanann's body into the truck. So I just wanted to kind of just make that a little bit more clear about dead weight and what the difference is as far as difficulty goes. Also, another good example is, or that I think is a good example, and it's kind of graphic, and so I apologize ahead of time, but if you've ever seen any of the Nazi concentration camp documentaries, of all the prisoners that, when they are moving their bodies to the mass graves, a lot of those, it's horrible, but a lot of those prisoners, they are skinny because they were malnourished and they weren't eating and they were weak, and so they were really, really underweight. A lot of them were like, skin and bones almost. And so they probably weighed, maybe they had to weigh less than 100 pounds, 50 pounds at the lightest. And it took at times, 3 or 4, full grown men to carry some of these bodies, easily to these mass graves. So that is a good example to show you of how difficult it would be if Shanann was 140 pounds, give or take, and these prisoners at the concentration camps were just skin and bones, and it took a couple of guys to move them, then it's probably most likely that Chris would not be able to do that by himself, in my opinion. Yeah, and CDT, that's another thing, is Chris claims that, and even Chris said that Shanann was too, if we're going to believe anything he said that Shanann was too heavy, that he ended up dropping her on the stairs when he was taking her down the stairs. And the coroner says that if he would have dragged her through the garage and down the stairs, Shanann would have most likely had post bruising on her from being dragged and hitting the stairs, and the whole trip to Survey, taking her out of the truck, putting her in the truck, taking her out of the truck. So in the autopsy report, the coroner states that Shanann didn't have any external injuries at all, which is kind of crazy, because even I just don't know how she wouldn't have anything, like any exterior bruising on her. But again, I'm not a coroner. But he did state, however, that Shanann didn't have any external injuries on her. So even if Chris dragged her through the garage and down the stairs and through the dirt at Survey, she would have at least had some sort of post bruising from I don't know the terminology. I knew it a month or so ago when I was researching the autopsies and everything, but it's when, similar to if the victim is at the time of death, if they end up being placed face down, let's say, like if they're face down and their heads on on part of a table or something, or an end table, they'll have post bruising, which is due to the blood forming or pooling in that area. If that makes sense. So either the coroner is lying, or he, for some reason, didn't see any marks on Shanann, or any bruising or anything, or any scrapes, or something. Because it's highly unlikely that Chris just swooped Shanann up and carried her down the stairs and swooped her back up out of the truck and just gallivanted to the gravesite. And I know a lot of people will argue, well, he was working out, and but you can see how fit this guy Will is in the video, and he's even saying it doesn't matter, you're not going to go to the gym and just easily pick up a bag of pudding with sticks in it, or whatever he said. So I just hope that gives like a little bit better understanding of dead weight compared to regular weight. And that's all I really have set up. So I don't know if you guys want me to read the chat and just try to get a topic going from there, or if you want me to end it. But I just wanted to get on because I haven't been on in a while and talk about a couple of things that have been brought up. Sharon, yes, and that's true as well, that Chris claims he did have carpal tunnel in both wrists. Yeah, true crime. Yeah, I don't know but why would they? Obviously, the autopsies are not complete because they didn't even finish filling out the diagrams on there, which I don't even know why they put those pages in there with blank diagrams. It's strange, but if they are redacted, you would think, why would they leave something as little as just her having bruising on her from being transported to Survey? There is another video I could play for you guys about the Cora requests, but I think now that Dr. B was able to get them, I don't know if that's really relevant or not. But plus, I don't know if Denver will give me a copyright or not. Yeah, that's a good point too. True crime. People will say, yeah, his adrenaline was pumping, and I personally don't see. It doesn't appear to me that he looks like he has any adrenaline pumping whatsoever in Nate's security camera, because he almost looks, robotic and docile, almost like he's in a trance or something. He doesn't. He's in no hurry whatsoever, or doesn't appear to be. He kind of just seems like he's just, like you said, just loading his tools into his truck, just nonchalant. But the whole, adrenaline thing is, people have mentioned that they've seen people have so much adrenaline that they lifted a vehicle off of somebody. And I'm, I, I don't know if I've personally seen that before, unless it was like in a movie or something. But I'm sure it's happened. At least I know it's happened by multiple people, like 3 or 4 plus people, going to a car and lifting a car or heavy vehicle off of somebody. But that's also with multiple people. And when they're lifting a vehicle, the vehicle is not going to have limbs and, appendages that are going to, flop all over the place and cause the distributed weight to get unbalanced. So the car is all, the weight of the car is all centered. So it's not going to have anything, like I said, like arms or whatever to flop all over the place. And also is, whenever they're lifting the vehicle up, it's probably only for, a matter of seconds or enough time to, get the person out from underneath the car. They're not lifting up this vehicle, carrying the vehicle down the stairs, carrying it through the garage, carrying a vehicle, into another vehicle, and then driving and then carrying them to a gravesite. Like, it's only for a couple seconds. Like, if Chris did what we're told he did, and he, you know, carried all these bodies, all these dead weight, he would not have shown up. I highly doubt he would have shown up to the house just looking all peppy and, like he's like a cheerleader. Like, he's all clean. He's got no dirt on him. Even if he changed clothes, he would still look physically drained and tired. And if he was supposedly killing his family the night before or earlier that morning, he probably most likely didn't get a lot of sleep. And to me, he looked like he got, 8 hours sleep the night before. And I know people have talked about how, the time frame that he had to do all of this. He definitely would not have had enough time to do all this, especially knowing how difficult it is to carry dead weight and do it by yourself. And I've thought about actually doing a reenactment with my boyfriend, but I don't really necessarily know if I want to be dragged on the ground either, or dropped on my head. But even then, would I be able to relax my body enough and not naturally, flex my muscles, or, subconsciously help him, which would make it easier to put me in a vehicle or lift me? I don't know. I could try, but like I said, I don't know if I really want to be dragged on it with a sheet around me. But um, you never know. I could get bored. I'm just looking at the chat. Real justice. Okay, number one, please don't call me Markle. Thank you. And two, I'm not going to give you a wrench so that you can post links. If you want me to show something, I will do my best. If you say please and thank you, just let me know what video it is. And there's a live that I'm going to be doing soon, hopefully. I'd like to do it as soon as possible, but I really want to get, some sort of itinerary or outline going for you guys. That way I'm not all over the place and I'm straight to the point. And so I'm going to try and get some bullet points together and hopefully point out, all the key points in the case, I guess. I don't like all the coincidental things as far as, Shanann going out of town right at the time of the affair and everything else. So, but I just really want to make it so that it's not, all out of whack and all over the place, and just that way it's easier for me and it's better for you guys. Real justice. I don't think I have. I think you can post links. I don't think I blocked them from, or I don't think I put that setting on. I think you can. Just try it. Don't be posting anything stupid. Yeah, I mean the Shanann video footage, doorbell footage of her coming home. I'm almost certain that it's not from that night, because there's no reason why they shouldn't have. And I mentioned this before in the past, but there's no reason why that shouldn't have been included with the discovery in the first place, with the original discovery. Because I don't know how that would be, not, I don't know what the term is they use all the time, but whatever, for the public's safety or whatever the excuse they use is. But that video didn't come out of Shanann until, people started making a hype about it, saying, well, how come we don't have doorbell footage of this? We know they have a Vivint doorbell, so where is it? And then all of a sudden HLN comes out with the video footage. And again, like I said in my other video, my 10 flags video, red flags video, is they always put this information out in dumps, and I call it docu dumps. Or right when the case is about to die down, you think it's about to die down, something new will come out. Like the pictures of the sand dune pictures of Chris and Kessinger, and they were clear as day, and they weren't all blurry and grainy like the first ones we got. But then there were more, the ones that were mentioned in the discovery. And why weren't those originally released with the discovery? Why did it take months for someone to request them for those to be released? Real justice, just tell me what you want me to play. Oh my God, you're not even prepared. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna give me crap and tell me to hurry so that you can post a link, and you're not even prepared. Ay ay ay. Karen, the chickens are doing well. Thank you. Stephanie Michelle, yeah, I mean, what if it was a psyop? I mean, would people, be happy to know that the girls were alive and Shanann and the girls were alive, or are they gonna, are people gonna be upset that they, were lied to? That's the whole problem with that. And the whole predictive programming thing and the American Horror Story thing. I mean, they're like I showed you with the Madonna video. They do it all the time, and they throw it in our faces, and say, oh, there's nothing you can do about it. Whether it be to, to subconsciously, prepare us for the event so that we accept it easier, or whether it be to whether they're doing it because of they believe in karma, and if they let us know what they're doing beforehand, then we're too stupid to realize it, then that's our own fault, but they don't have any karma. Either way, whether it's both reasons, I don't know, but either way, they're throwing it in our faces. And I don't know about anybody else, but me personally, that infuriates me, just to know that they're throwing it in our faces and they're probably just sitting there laughing about it. There are way too many coincidences too many connections to be coincidental with the American Horror Story connections. And there's some that, there's a lot more that I didn't even put in in my videos, because they were ones that, that you could consider, that could be used in everyday situations or considered coincidental. So there's even more, and I didn't even add those ones. But there are ones that you have to admit it's not possible for it to be a coincidence. Now, who's controlling the narrative, whether it's the producers of American Horror Story, or if it's whoever's controlling the narrative is the ones that are doing this. So whoever's controlling the narrative, that's the ones that are putting the, all these American Horror Story and following the American Horror Story American Horror Story. You get what I'm saying? And putting these horror movie references into the Discovery, like Ted Bundy and the Zodiac Killer thing. I mean, it's all connected. It's all they're doing the same thing that Murphy and Falchuk, the producers of American Horror Story, do, and get their inspiration from, that they do in their show. So they get inspiration from the classic horror films and the real life serial killers like Ted Bundy and Gacy and Manson and the cult leaders, Jim Jones. So as long as you follow American Horror Story, you're going to find these links and these connections in the Discovery in this case. So pretty much everything that Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk do in their show, whoever is controlling the Watts narrative or was controlling it is doing the exact same thing, but reversed. I don't see a link. Do I see a link? I don't see a link. Just tell me what video it is, please. Okay, well, I don't know what video you want me to play, so does anybody want to call in? Does anybody want to... Did you guys want me to end it? I mean, trust me, I have a million things to talk about this case, but I don't have some sort of some sort of guideline here. I'll just be all over the place. It'll go from AHS, and then it'll go to Rourke, and then it'll just be all over the place. It'll be a big old mess. No, Real Justice, I did not see the video title that you posted. Real, I'm not going to give you a wrench. Are you out of your mind? Well, I don't know, Real Justice. Maybe they're censoring you. I have no idea. I don't see a title or a link. Okay, well, I will post a link. If anybody wants to call in, be the first caller. If I know how. Oh, thanks, Tanya. Thanks for coming. The first cop video, the one with Coonrod showing up. Wait, are you going to show the whole Nicole Atkinson waving to somebody one? Because we already went over that in Mia's chat. It's okay, Angelina, no problem. Oh, that's nice, Allie. You did that. And Jenny, see, yeah, there's a ton of money made off of this case, and that's a follow the money is usually how you'll find your answers, but you really have to wonder why the Rusheks are trying so hard to really silence people, and especially people that are talking about conspiracy theories, and why they're working with an organization that was developed after that one event, with the kids, and first word rhymes with handy, and the second word rhymes with book. Yeah, but the organization that rhymes with handy and book, that started after that, the Ruseks are working with that organization, and their sole purpose is to go around and pretty much silence and scrub anybody that's talking about conspiracies, as far as any tragic events go. And if conspiracies are so stupid and they're so ridiculous, then why not just you know brush it off and say, as it being ridiculous? Why go to the trouble of actually tracking down and finding people that are talking about these alleged conspiracy theories? And not to mention, if this was all staged, can imagine how much the Ruseks have been donated money and have made, how much they've made? To me, and I'm not accusing anybody, I'm just saying, to me that would be a pretty good reason to want to silence people from getting to the truth. Jennifer Madison, yeah, the same thing did happen with the Las Vegas shooting, and the Watts case and the Las Vegas shooting have almost all of the same similarities and the same characteristics. But they just the Las Vegas shooting, they scrubbed all this conspiracy. Anybody that went against the official narrative are the ones who got taken down and got their videos scrubbed and removed. And I mean, and to be honest with you, AD, I've read Frankie Russek's posts and seen his videos about saying, that the AD degraded Shanann and said bad things about her or whatever, just bad things about his sister. And to be honest with you, I've never heard AD say one bad thing about Shanann. Regardless if it was just all for, just to get views and money or whatever, either way, he never said anything bad about Shanann. So why are the Russecks continually saying that AD specifically is talking bad about Shanann, and that why do they want to shut him up? Because he's never said anything bad about Shanann. So that doesn't make sense at all. I mean, there's other YouTube channels out there that have definitely degraded Shanann and talked bad about her and said false things about her, and some things that were truthful too. But why, they may be going after those channels, but why specifically AD? Allie, that's true. Yeah, they don't want you talking about the case at all anymore. You're right. And I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but AD is not the only one that's profited off of the deaths. I mean, the Russecks have profited pretty well off of the deaths of Shanann and the girls. So for Frankie to say, how dare you, make money off my sister's death? Well, that's calling the kettle black. The whole behavior with the Russecks and the Watts is just very strange, very, very strange. And they want people to stop talking about the case, and they plead and beg for us to just stop with it. But then they'll turn around and they'll go into live chats, and I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but they'll go into other channels and the live chats, and they'll associate themselves and they'll engage in the live chat, and all that does is just add fuel to the fire. All that does is make people want to keep talking about the case even more. If they just stayed off social media and tried to, mourn the deaths of their family or whatever, then eventually, believe it or not, this case will die down. People might not completely stop talking about it, but it will die down, and it has a lot. But every time they do that, like Frankie putting his FBI interview video out, just before that, he was saying on his page, on his channel, that he wanted people to stop talking about the case, and then he goes and posts his FBI interview about Shanann, and it's like, okay, well, you want to stop talking about the case, but then you're going to go and post, your interview with the FBI. It's just very, very, very strange to me. And their behavior it explains a lot. Because you have to ask yourself, why are they trying to silence everybody? Is it really because we're talking about the case, or is it something else? I mean, if you're going out of your way to, work with, like I said, the company or an organization that's main purpose is to scrub information, and if your lawyers are getting on television saying that, oh, we might have to take the law into it, I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, they're going out of their way to silence people, so that you really have to wonder why that is. Did that link come up? I didn't even check to see if it did, for someone to call in. Yeah, and if it were my family, yeah, I agree. Leather and lace. Yeah, I would be at Rourke's door, pounding on his door, asking for answers, because we're not stupid, and they think we're stupid because we're not. And no matter what anyone thinks happened in this case, obviously there's inconsistencies, and we deserve to know why. And in Frankie Rusak's most recent posts, he said, in all caps, no one else did this but Chris. Believe me when like, that's not word for word, but pretty much saying, believe what I'm saying, that we know that Chris was the only one that did this. So, stop talking about the case. Like, why are they trying so hard to push that narrative that Chris was the only one that did it? And I'm pretty sure that Frankie couple months ago was on there, peddling for donations to get a lawyer to go after AD. So I'm just wondering, not making any accusations, but I'm just wondering, just asking a question, YouTube. I'd like to note that. I'm just wondering if he did use that money for the donation money that he got for an actual lawyer to go after AD or not. I don't know. But I would be curious to find that out. So is that true that it says in the discovery that they destroyed the evidence after a year? Do we know what evidence? Like well, number one, one example, I guess, of the evidence is they sold his truck, which I mentioned in my red flags video, it's a huge red flag when they destroy or there's missing evidence. So we know the truck was sold, Chris's truck was sold. We know that the house wasn't even treated like a crime scene ever. All those people were allowed to walk in and out of it. Real Justice, I'm sorry if you think it's boring. Then go make your own videos. I'm not going to play a video that you already played on Mia's last night and showed everyone already. God, maybe you are a girl. You nag as much as one. Seriously. Jan Thurgood, I love that song. Yeah, but seriously, the Ruseks, they're all they're doing is just making people talk about the case more. Like they need to just stay away from social media, regardless of how hard it is. Like they're purposely seeking out these channels and they're doing it to themselves. So all they're doing is just, like I said, adding fuel to the fire, and people just want to talk about it more. If they just lay low and just, stop with everything, the case will die down. But yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, then I'll look at the chat here for a couple minutes, but then I'll probably end this. And I can't remember who it was that asked me for my email, but I think Angelina posted it. But yeah, email me if you want to give me some tips on some bullet points for me. That'd be great. I'll go on Tanya's live, but I don't know if she'll want me spewing my narrative or my theories. Yeah, I mean that's the thing too is if you choose to go on Dr. Phil and these primetime shows, you're gonna get social media attention. Like that's just gonna happen. So you can't go on Dr. Phil and then tell people to stop talking about the case. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'm going to end it because, of course, I'm all silent. And when I get off the live, I'll ramble away about everything that I should have said. But that's why I'm going to really get some bullet points for my next live, and hopefully it'll be much better and we'll stay on point and really get my point across to you guys. I think it'll be a lot better. All right, guys. Well, thank you all. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Thank you for being here. And I will see you guys later. Bye.